Medieval Dynasty dropped early access on Steam September 17th, 2020. And even though the game is only a few weeks into early access at the point of making this guide, the user interface is pretty much already polished and the game runs really smooth and has little to no bugs, which honestly is a really nice surprise for an early access game. But the question or questions you all may be asking is, that's all fine and dandy, that's great, but is the game any good? And to answer that, let's talk about what it isn't. So just in case one of these things that we're going to talk about is a no-no for you, you can just stop watching the review right now and just go on about your day. There is no multiplayer in this game. And as cool as it may seem to partner up with your friends and tackle multiple tasks at once, like I'll go ahead and hunt and you farm, this is about your dynasty. So no multiplayer here. Now, no multiplayer means no PvP. In fact, there is no fighting at all in this game unless you count hunting. That is, of course, until next year's Bandit update. Still with me? Okay, good. You also cannot customize your experience, so no custom game or character, and as it stands now, it's one game fits all. However, how you play the game may vary, so maybe the first time around you play the straight and narrow, the next time you play the rogue, steal, cheat, do all manner of dastardly deeds. This is all part of the RPG elements of the game. What you will be doing is quests, harvesting, hunting, building, farming, managing your settlement, finding a wife so you can have an heir. And it's all designed to keep you busy and engaged in the game. And while it does tend to whittle the hours away quite fast, I can't help but feel something lacking in this game. A substance that just isn't in the game. At least not yet. Because as I stated earlier, it's only a few weeks into early access at the time of this review. Many things are scheduled for this game in the future, including dealing with bandits, maybe even village raids. So in the fourth quarter, as you can see from the roadmap as we pull it up, we're going to have events, challenges, and fishing, as well as riding and farming. And in the first quarter of next year, you're going to get pottery, beekeeping, which makes me wonder if we're going to be able to make our own ale, alcohol production, there it is right there, and bandits. Now I'm really excited about these additions, and I'm curious how it's going to play into the game, as well as down the road in endgame and late game. But the question still remains, and it's simple. Is it a good game? To that I say this game has an amazing potential to be great. It already has many cross-genre gaming frameworks that seem to work well together. Things like open world survival, role-playing elements, and even simulation game when dealing with your own village, to name just a few. But while yes, I do find myself getting sucked up into the day-to-day tasks of the game, things like hunting or harvesting, farming or wooing women so I can find a potential mate so I can have an heir, recruiting potential villagers, and doing quests, I can't help but think, how long will this keep me entertained? So is the game worth your time? I ask again. Is it worth your money? I say yes with caution, and I say this for good reason. One, yes, the devs are very actively engaged in constant updates, and they're very curious about your feedback while it's in the stage of early access. There is already only a few weeks into early access, honestly a lot to keep you busy. And the game feels great, and I do enjoy myself while I play it. That being said, there is something that gives me pause with this game. While I do stay busy with a variety of things to do, how long can you continue to play out these things in-game before you grow bored? Because I personally can't sink 100 or even 200 plus hours into a game as it stands now. I will, however, be playing it even if I wasn't going to be making content for it, but as my main game to play, no, not as it stands now. A few hours a week part-time, yes. May this change in the future with updates? Absolutely. The game is great. This alone is what gives me pause, and while the game is only half the price of a full AAA game title, at about $30 on Steam, it's still rated 9 out of 10 from the players that have played it so far. And yes, I am one of those players. My questions lie in the long term of the game, and I certainly hope the devs deliver for a long-term playthrough. Once again, I give a cautious yes. Just understand the endgame as I understand it. You're going to play as your heirs in the endgame. So as your son or your daughter, then as your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, and so on and so forth. At some point, I don't know when it stops, you grow your village into a city and expand your dynasty. And while the concept of it sounds really amazing to me, my question is, after 100 hours of the game, is this just going to be tiresome for you? This is my cautious yes. The gameplay is fantastic and enjoyable, but the endgame looks to me to turn itself into a simulation style game. And if that makes you smile, then check that box, because this is your game, my friend. For the rest of us, I say, it deserves a look at. If nothing else, it deserves a spot on your radar. Thank you so much for watching, and if you found this informative, definitely hit that thumbs up. If you're new to the channel and you'd like to see more content like this on your video feed in the future, definitely tap that subscriber button down below. Anyways, I'm Granddaddy Gamer, and you guys all have an awesome day.